It's very much with the reconditioning emotional responses. So I feel like I should be quiet, and like there's so much self-doubt and insecurity just as a trauma response going through my brain, not a choice, just happens. And the impulse in that is to shut down, not share anything because nothing feels like it's worth it. So I'm doing the opposite action. So I'm going to be visible, and I know that there is a way to do this because I can't just grit my teeth and like fucking hold on for dear life and express myself and ignore the critical thoughts and share this on social media and then sit waiting braced for awful things to happen, or like to see what happens, because it's like I'm still coming at it from that lens, and my brain will then go into confirmation bias, and filter the evidence. So I will only see things, no matter what happens, my brain will only see things as like evidence that it was not valuable and that it was not worthwhile. Like, we haven't posted on Facebook for like months. We very rarely, I mean, just lately we have, but before that it'd probably been like a couple of years. So like our algorithm's not going to be great. But in this state, it doesn't feel like that's what's happening. Like, it truly, genuinely feels like the truth is that whatever I've said or done is just not valuable enough, and that's why nobody's seen it, and that's why nobody's commented on it. And then I'll also, in this state, feel like judging myself for thinking that, because it's like, oh, you need external validation. But it's like, no, you can't. You can control what you do with the thoughts that come up, but it doesn't have a meaning about me that these thoughts come up after a lifetime of trauma. It just means I've been through enough shit for my brain to go, this feels like this time when this thing that wasn't safe happened. And it takes it as evidence to prove that it's happening again. So like, I know that there's a tactic to it now where, yeah, I'm gonna go into like radical self-acceptance, radical self-trust. I'm gonna do stuff to physically keep myself calm, like I'm breathing as I do this, and like noticing my muscles, periodically relaxing them. It's a lot of positive self-talk, a lot of affirmations to counter all the critical thoughts, challenging critical thoughts, but in a compassionate way, because like the critical thoughts were just there to protect me. So even that is my brain trying to do its best. And it doesn't mean that I deserve to hear those things about myself or that they're true. It just means that I can challenge them without hating the part of me that's coming up with it, because it's not our fault that it was internalized. I can also feel rage at the people who made us internalize it, because fuck those assholes, it is their fault and they can go die in a hole. But I don't have to like linger there. I can come back to us and keep with the soothing and the reassurance and the affirmations that actually what we're doing is valuable, what we're doing is enough. I do have inherent worth as a person, I do have value as a person, whether or not, like, insert list of things that my brain says detract from my value. So I do it all like this. And then when I do the opposite action and I share this on social media, instead of just sitting and waiting like for something bad to happen or not happen, where my brain will then become like hyper fixated on everybody else's response or lack of response, or just anything in the environment that could be taken as evidence to support the belief that I'm not good enough. I actually know that instead, as I do the opposite action, I have to massively increase the counter thoughts and the self-soothing and the self-support, and become like a very hyped cheerleader, because the criticisms are going to get more intense and I'm going to be on the lookout for other evidence. So then I've got to do stuff like focus on what's in my sphere of influence and like pull myself back to how I feel and soothe and comfort and reassure myself that what I'm doing has value, that I see value in it, and take myself away from other people's perspectives, and like make sure that I have enough internal safety being generated by myself that it doesn't feel like a point of safety to watch other people's response, because it's not for other people's response that I'm doing this. It's for how it like intrinsically affects us. It's for how it processes trauma. It's for how it rebuilds and rewires our nervous system. It's for how it rebuilds new neural pathways. So just keep taking myself back to that, and that can be really repetitive. Like once every 5 seconds, if that, I could get a thought that's critical, and says like, oh, the fact that only one person's liked this post means, and they'll have to notice and observe and be like, no, it's okay, it doesn't have a meaning about me. I don't have to focus on how I'm observed or how I'm seen by others to be safe right now. I can trust myself. I can trust that I have inherent worth and value as a person, regardless of anybody else's response. Like, just know what to say and how to say it, but make sure that I'm like my biggest supporter as I share this, instead of just sharing it and then gritting my teeth and waiting to feel really uncomfortable or horrible. Like, I can actually do stuff about it that helps. But I also don't want to try to avoid, like, I'm gonna feel uncomfortable, but it's just about not allowing that to become a narrative or have a meaning about me as a person. It's gonna feel uncomfortable because it's really discongruent with what my brain learned was safe. And as I try to reteach my brain what actually is safe to give me more freedom to exist, it's gonna feel uncomfortable. So this helped. This has already helped.